Every September, Apple announces new iPhone models that are shinier, fancier, and more exciting than what you have in your pocket. In fact, the anticipation is already building as earlier this week, hints about what to expect with the new iPhones coming next September were published. So why are people encouraging us to hold off on buying a new iPhone to save the Earth? In this video, we will examine what is in your iPhone, what is the environmental impact of your iPhone, and what happens to your old iPhone. Stick around to the end of this video as we consider e-waste. Is your new iPhone upgrade killing the planet? In this video, I focus on the Apple iPhone, but the concepts apply to all smartphones and many consumer electronics such as gaming consoles, flat-screen televisions, and computers. Many electronic manufacturers are now providing more transparent information about the sources of their materials, supply chains, energy use, and waste disposal strategies. It's becoming more common to hear manufacturers talking about the use of recycled materials, carbon neutral production, and zero waste to landfill. Our modern technologies require rare earth elements because their natural properties allow our devices to be more compact, use less energy, and provide functions that aren't possible through other means. Scientists have discovered 118 elements, basically the raw materials, in everything around us. Of those 118 elements, 90 occur naturally in appreciable amounts on Earth, and another 4 or 8 elements are produced by the radioactive breakdown of other elements. According to published reports, the iPhone needs about 75 of these elements, although some of these elements may be replaced in new models. For example, the display screen is glass made from silica found in sand, so the basic source materials are fairly common. However, the glass is strengthened by the addition of potassium. Other functions are possible by using other materials. In addition to the more common metals and elements, iPhones use small amounts of obscure rare earth elements such as lithium for vivid colors and neodymium and dysprosium so that the phone can vibrate. In 2017, a reporter for Vice Motherboard worked with a mining consultant at 9/11 Metallurgist to smash a brand new iPhone 6 to analyze all of the materials found in the device. They observed that over 80% of the materials used in building an iPhone are common elements such as aluminum, iron, copper, lithium, carbon, and silicon. The remaining, rarer, hard-to-obtain materials are found in very low quantities but are essential for the advanced functions of the phone that we take for granted. Now that we know what is in your iPhone, where do the materials come from? A 2021 press release from the International Energy Agency raised a concern that the critical minerals and elements used in smartphones are also needed for technologies to reduce greenhouse gas emissions such as electric vehicles and wind turbines. Additionally, the European Chemical Society issued a statement in 2022 about the unsustainable use of elements in smartphones and other clean energy technologies. Some such as yttrium, gallium, indium, and tantalum may run out within the next 100 years. In this diagram, the size and shape of the box represents the abundance on a logarithmic scale. This means that the elements in the big boxes are much more abundant and the ones in the small boxes are much rarer than simply comparing the size on the diagram. The elements in orange are at risk because increased use, and the elements in red may run out within the next 100 years. Many of the elements found in modern electronics are found in very low amounts in crude rock ore. The extraction and purification process may require a lot of energy and harmful chemicals. A common way of extracting gold is to treat the crude rocks with low concentrations of toxic cyanide. The runoff from this process can cause cyanide to accumulate in the environment, potentially poisoning people, plants, and animals. In addition, a number of these elements, such as cobalt, tungsten, and tantalum, are mined in regions of conflict. These areas often lack safe working conditions, employ child laborers, and in some cases, the revenue generated by sales of these materials funds continued warfare that further degrades already impoverished living conditions and increases the damaging environmental impact. While there is only a small amount of these precious materials in a single iPhone, the popularity of the iPhone, other smartphones, and consumer electronics causes even these small amounts to add up quickly. For the last decade, Apple has sold around 200 to 250 million iPhones per year. iPhone sales represent about a quarter of the smartphone market, so an estimated billion smartphones are sold each year. In 2016, the mining consultant that smashed a brand new iPhone in order to study it calculated that the amount of crude ore necessary to produce the materials needed to make iPhones. Their analysis is based on 45 million iPhone 5Ss, and we are now seeing over 5 times that amount of iPhones sold each year. They calculated that while a single iPhone requires 0.014 grams of gold, 45 million iPhones require a total of 630 kilograms of gold annually. For those of us who are metrically challenged, this means about 1,400 pounds of gold used in 2016. And that amount is only going higher as more phones are sold. Miners need to extract gold from 1.6 million tons of ore that must be dug up and processed to produce this amount of gold. What happens to your old iPhone once you're done with it? Experts predict that the average life of an iPhone will be about 8 years. Many users will update their phones before this time, so many of these still working phones that they trade in for a new device are refurbished for further use. At the end of 2023, there were an estimated 1.3 billion iPhones in use, and more than 50% of those are reused. As part of Apple's effort to reduce environmental impact of the iPhone, they plan to stop using mined rare earth minerals and metals. Instead, they plan on using metals recovered from recycled electronics. Reclaiming rare materials from old, non-working electronics may be more effective and efficient than mining new ore. Overall, the amounts of these materials in a ton of iPhones are higher than a ton of crude ore. The non-working phones are taken apart and melted down to isolate and purify the raw materials. Sadly, many smartphones and other devices are discarded as electronic waste, more commonly referred to as e-waste. These may be buried in landfills or exported to countries lacking safety regulations. Attempts to mine resources from electronic waste under these conditions can cause harm to people and the environment, as toxic materials are released in the unregulated burning of the electronics. As we consider the ethical dilemma in science for this week, please leave your comments below on the environmental impact of our technology upgrades as we consider, is your new iPhone upgrade killing the planet? To answer that, we need to first consider, how can we minimize the environmental impact of technology upgrades? Should smartphone manufacturers be discouraged from releasing multiple new models that are only slightly better than previous models each and every year? And finally, should there be greater incentives to recycle old smartphones? In the description below is additional information, references, and a link to a lesson plan to accompany this video. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe for more conversations on the ethical impact of science and technology on society. Until next time, stay curious and be informed.